2025 was the year of big goals. We locked in and succeeded. 2026, we do it all over again.
Weeks out from Ironman Hamburg. As you can probably tell, the winter has got me so far. I'm actually feeling pretty good in myself, despite my voice. We are 7 days into 2026. Gotta be completely honest, I'm definitely more of a fan of training throughout summer where, you know, you're out on the bike, the weather's good. Same again with the runs. We just got back then from a 45-minute easy run on the canal this morning. Might as well have taken the ice skates. So it's brutal at the moment out there. When I last spoke to you guys, I put it out there and I knew it was going to be a long shot that I wanted it to go sub 40 minutes in the 10K. Quite an undulating course, and we got it. 39:29 official time. That race was great. So good. I felt strong, but let me tell you, a lot of people have said to me, you know, you're used to running marathons, you know, doing your Ironman training, you know, 10K will be nothing. It's a completely different race altogether. 10K all out, 5K all out, a half marathon. Each respected distance is tough in its own right. Average heart rate, 183, I think it was. You know, I think pace on average was somewhere in the region between 3:56, 3:57. Strava had me down as a 39:19, obviously official chip time being the most important thing there, 39:29. Just going back to the day of the race itself, getting there was one thing. Could have probably set off in a little bit more time, and I'd planned to get there half an hour earlier, but turns out road closures made things a little bit more difficult. Luckily, really nice guy who was closing off part of the course decided to sort of like let us through and was pretty much just driving very slowly down some of the country roads with hazards on as some of the runners were warming up. Managed to get parked up because if we'd had to leave the car where it was a 35-minute walk to the start line, you know, which I probably wouldn't have made the start line. A little bit of adrenaline and stress to start the day there. So we got going. One thing that I'd say about the race itself, the Ribble Valley 10K, and it was a great race, is, you know, you turn up to, let's say like an Ironman, and you know, you got pacing zones for the swim. On a marathon, you got the pacing zones. There was no pacing zones for here. So you had your elites at the front. These guys were finishing the race in 29-30 minutes. Incredible speed. And the rest of us were sort of piled up. So I found myself in the start line, sort of chatting to some people around, and everyone was trying to figure out what pace we were running at. I sort of worked out I was a little bit further back than what I should have been, so I tried to make myself you know, get a little bit further ahead in terms of the start. The first 400 meters, absolute chaos. You know, you're running, people are under your feet, you know, you're trying to get around the sides. After about 500 meters or so, until we came out of a climb, then I was pretty much up to pace. What I tried to do in the pace, obviously I've done the threshold workouts, the speed workouts, so I knew what my pace was. First time wearing the carbon, so I went with the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4s. And it's the first time in like a year and a bit that I've wore carbons, just because last time the Vaporflies didn't agree with me. Turns out that was mainly just down to the shoe. Felt really good. And I was pacing off a couple of the guys I was running with, and you could tell who was going for the sub 40. Pace was hot, and I knew that I had to be on it. I remember in my head, you know, in the 4th kilometre thinking to myself, well, worst case scenario, I want a 5K PB here. So I ran like a really good sort of split. Turns out that the back half of the race, my last 5K was actually faster than my front half. So I paced it very well. 19:19 was my last 5K of the race. So I came through pretty well then. But I remember getting to around 7K and thinking, yeah, this pace is pretty uncomfortable, this. But as soon as I got to 8.5K, some of the people I was running with started to fade away. And luckily, you know, I spent a bit of time running by myself and managed to catch up another group ahead of me, a lot of club runners there. As soon as I got to 8.5K, I knew that I was going to do it. And I did the maths on that. I think I could have pretty much got through with like a 4:30, and that wasn't going to happen on that last K. I managed to finish strong. It was actually, my last kilometre was the fastest of the race, a 3:45K split. So yeah, absolutely elated. You know, and it was great to have my family there, Beth there supporting, and just sort of take it in, and the year as a whole really. So I'm really happy with how 2025 went, going from Manchester Marathon, which 20-minute PB came in at 3:29. Since then, looking at my data, I know that marathon in itself, that I've got a lot of potential with a marathon. I'm nowhere near even scratching the surface of what I can do there, knowing that, you know, I just did a sub 40 10K and, you know, blew up a little bit in that race. When I do go back to the marathon off the back of the Ironman stuff this year, you know, I want to go 100%, you know, sub 3:15. You know, I reckon I can probably land somewhere in the region 3:10, 3:15 next time around, and then, you know, we're going to work getting close to that 3-hour mark. That's going to be the goal there. But yeah, learned a lot in that race, and I know that there's more on the table there for me with the marathon. That was a great day out, tough race. So April was good. This was obviously the build into the Ironman 70.3 Bolton in June, where I went 6 hours, 6 minutes. First half Ironman, same again. The experience was invaluable, learned so much from that. First time racing ever in triathlon, and not an easy course by any means. Same again, really happy with how that went with my swim, the bike, the run. Learned some lessons yet again, which I was then able to build on when I did my last triathlon out in Mallorca. 70.3 race, half Ironman again. Got a 30-minute PB in that. PB'd the swim, the bike, the half marathon at the end of it. So that's filled me with a lot of confidence that progressively throughout the year, and speaking with Alex, that throughout the year I've got better and better. And no doubt I've been putting in more. I've been training harder, more consistently as the year's gone on, stacking those good sessions, those good days, good weeks. So I'm really happy with how last year went. Obviously with the way that things are standing at the moment, 21 weeks out, we're looking at about 5 months now until Ironman Hamburg. So training at the moment, we're averaging just under 10 hours a week of training. So things, I don't want to say, but a little bit steadier than where things are going to get to. You know, we're probably going to be, you know, up around 16 hours a week in the end of it. At the moment, we're base building. We're setting those really good foundations at the bottom of the pyramid across swimming, cycling, and running. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for where this is going to go. And I know that when I'm on that start line, what's going to give me confidence is the day-to-day and the training that I've done. And that's why I'm not going to leave anything on the table there. I'm going to give it my absolute all with my training. And that's how I'm going to build confidence in myself. And then on the race itself, I'm going to give it my absolute all. Same with my training. And then what will be will be. So we're 21 weeks out from Ironman Hamburg. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's do this.